with the soil. They're constantly adjusting based on what the other person is doing, even expressing gratitude for their help. It's a much more collaborative and nurturing vibe.
It makes you wonder what accounts for those different communication styles, right?
I think it speaks to the context and the goals. In those ARush examples, there's a sense of urgency, a need for immediate comprehension. Maybe it's a time-sensitive situation, or the stakes are high.
Whereas with the gardening videos, it's more about learning together and enjoying the process.
Exactly. It highlights how our communication adapts to the environment and the relationship we have with the person we're talking to.
That makes a lot of sense. And this brings us to another interesting theme, finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. Those gardening videos, and some from Backtest, really capture how engaging even mundane tasks can be.
You wouldn't think watching someone pot a plant would be so captivating.
But the level of detail they go into is fascinating. You hear about the different types of soil, the careful handling of the roots, the weight of the soil bags. It's all very tactile and real.
And there's so much problem solving involved.
Yeah.
Like figuring out the best position for the plant, dealing with spills needing specific tools like shears and scoops. It's not as simple as it seems.
It really makes you appreciate the amount of knowledge and skill that goes into things we often take for granted.
It's like those everyday tasks have this hidden complexity to them.
Now let's move from the garden into the world of technology. Another theme that popped up, especially in the ARush transcripts, is the whole concept of AI callers.
Oh yeah, this is where things get really futuristic.
It's like taking chatbots to the next level. So we're talking about a phone number that spells out a word, a vanity number, and it's linked to an AI that can handle both incoming and outgoing calls using voice.
Instead of typing your questions or instructions, you're having an actual conversation with an AI.
They use the example of 800 HTGPT, which is a pretty clear image.
Right, it immediately makes the concept more tangible.
And the potential applications are huge, especially for businesses.
Imagine an AI that can learn from human experts and answer customer questions on its own 24/7.
That would be a game changer for customer service. Handling those high volume inquiries, freeing up human agents for more complex issues.
Exactly. And it's not just a far off idea. We hear about university students developing these AI callers as projects, even testing them with real companies.
It's a cool example of how academic research can have real world impact.
And how those collaborations can lead to innovation.
But it's not always easy to explain this technology to people who aren't already immersed in the AI world.
Right? It requires a different approach, a way to make it relatable and understandable.
It brings up that whole issue of bridging the gap in tech literacy.
We also get some specific examples of how these AI callers could be used, like for a company called JustWorks.
Where the AI could learn about their payroll and HR services from their website and then answer customer questions over the phone.
Right. And another example for the city of Coral Gables potentially providing information to residents.
It's amazing to see how versatile this technology could be.
And there was even a quick mention of smart contracts in the context of ethical remote working.
Just to clarify, for anyone who's not familiar, a smart contract is basically a contract where the terms are written into code so it can execute itself automatically.
It's fascinating to see how these different technologies are being woven into the fabric of how we work and live.
And speaking of companies pushing the boundaries, we also came across a company called Runbot.
With a website, runbotco.info.
Right, they seem to be involved in this whole vanity, phone number, and AI space.
It's like a whole ecosystem is emerging around this technology.
So we've gone from human communication to artificial intelligence, and now for a complete change of pace, spontaneous entertainment.
This is where the ARush transcripts take a wild turn.
It's like flipping through a photo album and suddenly you're at a concert.
You're in the middle of a lively event with music and audience interaction and announcements in Spanish.
And the music is incredible. We're talking salsa, merengue, bachata, high energy Latin music with passionate singing and dancing.
And the calls for audience participation, manos arriba. You can practically feel the energy.
Even just reading the transcript, it's amazing.
There are mentions of specific artists and groups too. Adolescentes, Wilton Ruini, Johnny Ventura, El Grande Leon.
It's like a glimpse into a whole cultural scene.
And the lyrics, from what we can tell, are all about love, heartbreak relationships, very dramatic stuff.
It's a stark contrast to those instructional and technical discussions we were hearing earlier from the same channel.
It really speaks to the unpredictable nature of these raw, unedited videos.
What do you think it says about the person behind ARush, that they're capturing such a wide range of experiences?
It suggests a willingness to document everything, to share a more complete picture of their life and interests.
Like they're not filtering anything, just capturing whatever unfolds.
Exactly. And our final theme brings us back to the world of innovation and collaboration. We found several snippets from ARush that seem to be from a business or tech event.
Emerge America's 2025.
Right. And you hear people introducing their companies talking about partnerships, and there's a clear focus on AI, which ties back to our earlier discussion.
It's like this event is a hub for people who are shaping the future of AI.
You hear about companies involved in AI training, AI adoption consulting, even a company called Realfinity working on mortgage infrastructure.
There's a laundry service app called Hamper App and Profit Catalyst, which offers financial services for small businesses. It's a real mix of industries.
And it's interesting to see university professors showcasing student projects, those very AI collar technologies we talked about.
Right. They're actively looking for businesses to partner with to test and implement their ideas.
It highlights that crucial link between academic research and real-world applications.
You even hear the nitty-gritty of networking people exchanging business cards, QR codes. It's a classic scene, but captured in this raw, unfiltered way.
It's a reminder that even in the most cutting-edge fields, those personal connections are still so important.
And there's a real emphasis on understanding the local business landscape, especially in Miami, with its large Spanish-speaking population.
It underscores the importance of tailoring your approach to the specific region and culture you're working in.
So as you can see, this deep dive has been quite a journey. We started with a bunch of seemingly random YouTube transcripts and ended up uncovering all these fascinating threads.
We went from practical advice on camera operation to heated debates about directions to live salsa music to the future of AI.
It's amazing what you can find when you start digging.
It's a reminder that even the most mundane moments can hold surprising insights, and the digital world is full of these hidden gems.
It really makes you think about how we communicate, how we learn, how we work, and how technology is shaping every aspect of our lives.
And it leaves us with a final thought for our listeners.
What hidden narratives and connections might be lurking in the content you consume every day?
What unexpected insights are waiting to be discovered if you just take the time to look a little closer? This deep dive has been just a glimpse beneath the surface, and there's always more to explore.
So keep your eyes and ears open. You never know what you might find.
Absolutely.
That's it for our deep dive today. We'll see you next time.
See you then.
Well, this was 37 steps, and we start a new recording. Add the comment with the previous file name. And in the next pass, we'll try the interactive mode. And the interactive mode enables a person to join. Let's see if this will work. Let's start the interactive mode now.
All right, so we're diving deep today into a pretty fascinating collection of raw YouTube transcripts you've sent our way.
Yeah, a real mixed bag of content here.
It's like, you know those boxes of old photos and stuff you find in the attic? You never know what you're going to uncover.
Right, like a digital time capsule almost.
Exactly, and our goal is to sift through all this footage from different channels and find those hidden gems, you know, those unexpected insights that might surprise us.
Absolutely. So just to give everyone a sense of what we're working with, we've got a good amount from the ARush channel, some intriguing videos from Backtest with those very specific date and timestamp titles,
Oh yeah, those are always fun.
and a few from Drewsrue as well, plus a couple of super short snippets, one from Drewsrue and another from ARush that seems like it's the end of a live stream.
Now what's really struck me as we've been going through all this is how these recurring themes just kind of pop up organically.
Yeah, you wouldn't think there'd be so much overlap between, gardening videos and tech discussions, and then boom, there it is.
Right, it's like this accidental tapestry of everyday life and, you know, future tech and even spontaneous music. It's wild. So where do we even begin with all this?
Well, one theme that really jumps out, especially in those ARush videos, is this dynamic of instruction, how people communicate expectations and feedback. It can get pretty intense at times.
Oh, absolutely. You hear this very direct, even critical commentary about how to behave in conversations. It's all about being present and aware, you know, not advertising stupidity, as they put it.
Right, there's this underlying assumption that you need to be on top of things, you need to understand what's going on, even if it's not explicitly stated. It makes you wonder what kind of environment they're in, what the stakes are.
Yeah, it definitely has that feeling at a high pressure situation, and we see it play out in very practical ways, like that instance where someone's being instructed on how to use a camera.
Oh, yeah, near what sounds like a breaking news event. Fire trucks, police, all that near Miracle Mile.
Right, and the instructions are so specific, like how to zoom in frame the shot. It really highlights how vital clear communication is when you're trying to capture something important in the moment.
And then you have that other exchange about directions north versus east, the layout of Miracle Mile. That one gets pretty heated.
Oh yeah, you can feel the frustration on one side and the confusion on the other.
It escalates beyond just directions. It becomes personal. You could almost hear them getting flustered.
It's like even the simplest misunderstandings can trigger strong emotions. It makes you think about how differently we all process information, spatial reasoning, all that.
Absolutely. Now contrast that with another discussion about camera technology, but with a completely different vibe. This time it's about facial recognition software being used to distinguish familiar faces from strangers.
To avoid false alarms, right?
Exactly. It's interesting to see how technology can be both the source of confusion and a potential solution.
It's like two sides of the same coin. And speaking of different approaches, the instruction we see isn't always so intense.
Right, like when we shift over to those Drozru videos about gardening.
Those are so calming.
Totally. You hear this patient step-by-step guidance on how to plant bushes, how to work with the soil. They're constantly adjusting based on what the other person is doing, even expressing gratitude for their help. It's a much more collaborative and nurturing vibe.
It makes you wonder what accounts for those different communication styles, right?
I think it speaks to the context and the goals. In those ARush examples, there's a sense of urgency, a need for immediate comprehension. Maybe it's a time-sensitive situation or the stakes are high.
Whereas with the gardening videos, it's more about learning together and enjoying the process.
Exactly. It highlights how our communication adapts to the environment and the relationship we have with the person we're talking to.
That makes a lot of sense. And this brings us to another interesting theme, finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. Those gardening videos and some from Backtest really capture how engaging even mundane tasks can be.
You wouldn't think watching someone pot a plant would be so captivating.
But the level of detail they go into is fascinating. You hear about the different types of soil, the careful handling of the roots, the weight of the soil bags. It's all very tactile and real.
And there's so much problem solving involved, like figuring out the best position for the plant, dealing with spills needing specific tools like shears and scoops. It's not as simple as it seems.
It really makes you appreciate the amount of knowledge and skill that goes into things we often take for granted.
It's like those every